Next question is your company plans to migrate to Azure. The company has several departments. All the Azure resources used by each department will be managed by a department administrator. You need to recommend an Azure deployment that provides the ability to segment Azure for the departments. What are two possible techniques to segment Azure for the departments? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Option A, multiple subscriptions. Option B, multiple Azure Activity Directory, Azure directories. Option C, multiple regions. Option D, multiple resource groups. Correct answer is option A and option D, multiple subscriptions and multiple resource groups. Next question is, this question requires that you evaluate the underlying text to determine if it is correct. If Microsoft plans to end support of an Azure service that does not have a successor service, Microsoft will provide notification at least 12 months before. Options are no change is needed. Option B 6 months, option C 90 days, option D 30 days. Correct answer is option A, no change is needed. Next question is, this question requires that you evaluate the underlying text to determine if it is correct. A support plan solution that gives you best practice information, health status and notifications, and 24/7 access to billing information at the lowest possible cost is a standard support plan. Options are no change is needed. Option B developer, option C basic, option D premier. Correct answer is option C basic. Next question is, in which Azure support plans can you open a new support request? Option A, Premier and Professional Direct only. Option B, Premier Professional Direct and Standard only. Option C, Premier Professional Direct Standard and Developer only. Option D, Premier Professional Direct Standard Developer and Basic. Correct answer is option D, Premier Professional Direct Standard Developer and Basic. Next question is, this question requires that you evaluate the underlined text to determine if it is correct. You can create an Azure support request from supportmicrosoft.com. Options are option A, no change is needed. Option B, the Azure portal. Option C, the Knowledge Center. Option D, the Security and Compliance Admin Center. Correct answer is option B, the Azure portal. Next question is, this question requires that you evaluate the underlying text to determine if it is correct. The Azure Standard Support Plan is the lowest cost option to receive 24/7 access to support engineers by phone. Instructions: review the underlying text. If it is makes statement correct, select no change is needed. If the statement is incorrect, select the answer choice that makes the statement correct. Option A, no change is needed. Option B, developer. Option C, basic. Option D, professional direct. Correct answer is option A, no change is needed. Next question is, this question requires that you evaluate the underlying text to determine if it is correct. All Azure services that are in public preview are provided without any documentation. Options are no change is needed. Option B, only configurable from Azure CLI. Option C, excluded from the service level agreements. Option D, only configurable from the Azure portal. Correct answer is option C, excluded from the service level agreements. Next question is, what is guaranteed in an Azure Services Level Agreement SLA for virtual machines? Option A, uptime. Option B, feature availability. Option C, bandwidth. Option D, performance. Correct answer is option A, uptime. Next question is, this question requires that you evaluate the underlying text to determine if it is correct. An Azure service is available to an Azure customer when it is in public preview. Options are no change is needed. Option B, private preview. Option C, development. Option D, an enterprise agreement EA subscription. Correct answer is option A, no change is needed. Next question is, your company plans to request an architectural review of an Azure environment from Microsoft. The company currently has a basic support plan. You need to recommend a new support plan for the company. The solution must minimize costs. Which support plan should you recommend? Option A, Premier. Option B, Developer. Option C, Professional Direct. Option D, Standard. Correct answer is option A, Premier. Next question is, what is required to use Azure Cost Management? Option A, a dev test subscription. Option B, software assurance. Option C, an enterprise agreement EA. Option D, a pay-as-you-go subscription. Correct answer is option C, an enterprise agreement EA. Next question is, this question requires that you evaluate the underlined text to determine if it is correct. Your Azure trial account expired last week. You are now unable to create additional Azure Active Directory Azure AD user accounts. These are the options. No change is needed. Option B, start an existing Azure virtual machine. Option C, access your data stored in Azure. Option D, access the Azure portal. Correct answer is option B, start an existing Azure virtual machine.